I know you'll be here all night, and I think you're going to see some tremendous results.
Happening right now at 5, President Trump says he has a, quote, solid chance of winning tonight's election, securing himself 4 more years. Thanks for joining us tonight for 7 News at 5. I'm Katherine Guyon. The president spent the past week on a campaign blitz across the country. Natalie Brand with CBS News has more details from the White House.
Staff and volunteers cheered on the president as he made a rare appearance at his campaign headquarters in Virginia today.
I know you'll be here all night, and I think you're going to see some tremendous results.
The president said his 23 rallies in the last week have taken a toll on his voice, but have helped his chances heading into tonight.
You know, we had rallies, there was love at those rallies. I think we took off, so it's been really good.
His campaign expects a surge of Republican support at the polls today to give him an edge.
We're seeing lines of people, and they're wearing a lot of red material, including hats.
CBS News has confirmed the Trump campaign has a war room set up to monitor the results, and the president will be here at the White House with about 400 guests as the returns come in.
Winning is easy. Losing is never easy. Not for me, it's not.
President Trump has hinted at legal action and again criticized a Supreme Court ruling that allows Pennsylvania to count postmarked ballots received up to 3 days after the election.
A lot of shenanigans, a lot of bad things happen with ballots when you say, oh, let's devote days and days, and all of a sudden the ballot count changes.
The president says he has not yet written either an acceptance or concession speech.
Vote counting typically extends beyond election night for every election, but how long the votes will be counted varies dramatically depending on the state or locality. The Biden campaign is spending Election Day dividing and conquering, making appearances in the key battleground states of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and North Carolina. The former vice president has multiple paths to victory, but he's fighting to the end for every vote. He stopped by his childhood home in Scranton, Pennsylvania earlier today. Final 2020 ballots are being cast around Ohio, a state initially all but written off by Democrat Joe Biden in his race to unseat Republican President Donald Trump that now appears to be a toss-up. Voters will also decide a number of U.S. House seats in Ohio, including the District 1 race between Democrat Kate Schroeder and 12-term Representative Steve Chabot. Former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder, who refused to step aside from his re-election bid despite facing charges in a $60 million bribery scheme, is squaring off against 4 write-in candidates. Also in Ohio, citizens exercised their right to vote locally today. Bridgeport residents kept the poll booths busy at Bridgeport High School. Those working the polls say they had 2 long lines this morning that wrapped outside of the building. Within a few hours of the polls opening, workers had counted more than 100 voters. They believe this year's election could see record-breaking numbers for this area. Some of those workers have been manning the polls for many years.
I've enjoyed working the elections for several years, and you know, this election is very important, and I'm hoping everybody is doing their right to vote.
Those working the polls say they had a few voters tell them this was their first time voting. On this election day, voting has been steady at precincts in Ohio County. We just got off the phone with representatives from the Ohio County Voters Registration Office, and they report some precincts have also been busy. Ohio and Marshall reported a record early voter turnout, which ended Saturday. Marshall County tells 7 News they have been busy today at many of their precincts. And looking across the Mountain State, one of the many races everyone is talking about is the governor's seat for West Virginia. West Virginia Republican Governor Jim Justice is running for re-election against Democratic challenger Ben Salango. Justice has been governor since 2017. A previously registered Republican, he ran as a Democrat, then switched back his party affiliation 7 months after he took office. His Democratic opponent, Salango, is a county commissioner with a law background running on the same issues. In Ohio County, multiple races are on the ballot this evening, everything from seats in the House of Delegates to who will be helping move businesses and economic growth forward as commissioner. 7 News reporter Stephanie Grinley has been following all these races closely. She joins us live in Wheeling with what Ohio County voters are deciding today. Stephanie.
Catherine, as you can see behind me, not too many people out here. It's not too busy. But in terms of voting going on right now, there are some big ticket items on this ballot, starting with the 3rd delegate seat, where we have 4 names on the ballot, but only 2 will fill the seat. So incumbent Sean Fluharty, incumbent Erica Storch, and then also we have Dalton Hawes and Ben Snyder. Now we jump to another race, more localized here in Ohio County. It is the commissioner seat, where we have incumbent Tim McCormick going up against Zach Abraham. Now Abraham, you might know that name because he's worked with the Department of Education, and McCormick, you know that name because he's been a commissioner before. But as we jump to maybe a race that's not just for Ohio County but for the whole northern panhandle, incumbent Senator Ryan Weld is going up against Randy Schwartzmiller. Schwartzmiller has about 14 years of experience with the House of Delegates, and Weld has experience as being a senator before for this 1st district seat. But as we follow all these races, the best place you can find that is on our website, WTRF.com. I'll be tweeting out all night long as the election unfolds here. But for now, live in Ohio County for 7 News, I'm Stephanie Grinley. Back to you, Catherine.
Stephanie, thanks. Polling places are seeing lots of voters all over the Ohio Valley. In Belmont County, people have done a tremendous amount of early voting, but they are still going strong at the polls as well. DK Wright is outside the Belmont County election headquarters, where she will be joining us live throughout the evening. And DK, what's the situation there right now?
It's very quiet here right now. It's the calm before the storm. They haven't started bringing the ballot boxes back yet, so there's no need for a mask because there's pretty much nobody around. Here in Belmont County, this has been an incredibly historic election season. Officials say they've never seen this many people cast their ballots by early voting and mail-in voting. And many more are voting today at the polls. The polls won't close for another 2.5 hours, so when will all these votes be counted? Election Board Director Kelly McCabe said she suspects it won't be a very long night.
First results that are seen are the absentees. They will be uploaded anywhere between 7:45 and 8 p.m. And then as the precincts come in, every half hour to 45 minutes, we will have hopefully new totals. Those precincts take a while. They're spread out all over Belmont County. But we will have the totals by the end of the night as soon as all the precincts get in.
The absolute finals. They will still have to wait for ballots mailed and postmarked by today, and those from service members overseas. They will do a canvass with all the absolute totals later this month. But otherwise, we'll see most of Belmont County's totals by perhaps 10 o'clock tonight. Live in Belmont County, DK Wright for 7 News, working for you.
DK, thanks. And here's a quick reminder of the voting times for Election Day. The polls will be open until 7:30 tonight. And you can watch all of our coverage on Election Night right here on 7 News and our website, WTRF.com. The 7 News team is out to cover all the races important to you as soon as those results come in. We will have live cut-ins on CBS and digital updates, as well as our full election coverage tonight at 10 o'clock until 11:35.